Lesson 8.2, using the distributive property. This is the second part of lesson 8.2. We learned in this lesson so far that we can factor a polynomial using distributive property, either by factoring out the greatest common factor. That's the first way that we learn to factor a polynomial, or by factor by grouping. That's when we have 4 terms and we're able to group. Now we will learn how to solve an equation by factoring. You will use the zero product property to solve. Zero product property. If A times B is equal to 0, if A times B is equal to 0, then either A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0, or both A and B are equal to 0. Let that sink in. Think about it. If you have 2 terms that when you multiply them, their product equals 0, the only way that can be true is if one of them is a 0 or both are zeros. So here are the steps that we will follow to solve by factoring. Okay, let's practice. Number 1. I have 2d plus 6 times 3d minus 15 is equal to 0. Well, here I have 2 terms multiplied together that equal 0. Zero product property tells me that one of these must equal 0 or both will equal 0. So I'll set up my problem this way. I can say that 2d plus 6 equals 0, or 3d minus 15 is equal to 0, and I'll solve both. Okay, so here we'll subtract 6 on both sides and get 2d equals negative 6, and then we'll divide both sides by 2, where d is equal to negative 3. Here we'll subtract 15 on both sides, and add 15 on both sides, so 3d is equal to 15, and divide both sides by 3, d is equal to 5. So therefore, the roots, or the solutions, we're going to call them the roots of the equation, are negative 3 and 5. Okay, number 2. C squared is equal to 3c. Well, here the equation is not equal to 0. So the first thing we need to do is make our equation equal to 0. So let's subtract 3c on both sides. We'll get c squared, c squared minus 3c is equal to 0. So once we have made our equation equal to 0, I now have to factor the expression. So I have a greatest common factor here of c minus 3, I'm very sorry, I don't know what's going on, is equal to 0. So now I have the product of 2 terms is equal to 0. Therefore, c may be equal to 0. c minus 3 is equal to 0. We'll add 3 on both sides. c is equal to 3. Therefore, the roots of this equation, or the possible solutions, are 0 and 3. Please don't put these in parentheses, since they're not an ordered pair. Okay, number 3. I have 3n times n plus 2 is equal to 0. So I have 3n times n plus 2 equals 0. It's already equal to 0, and I have two factors. They're equal to 0, therefore we can use our zero product property. That tells me that 3n equals 0, or n plus 2 equals 0. So divide here by 3 on both sides, n is 0. Subtract 2 on both sides, n is negative 2. So for this one, my roots are 0 and negative 2. Okay, try number 4 on your own. Number 4, 8b squared minus 40b is equal to 0. Hit pause, work this problem out, and then check your answer. The roots for number 4 are 0 and 5. Okay, last problem, number 5, that I'll do with you. X squared equals negative 10x. Hit pause, work that one out, and come back and check. The roots for this equation are 0 and negative 10. Okay, I have attached a worksheet that has a few extra practice problems for you. So today, please work on number 4, number 9, number 14. Okay, get ready for any questions you might have. Write them down so you don't forget your questions, and we'll be ready to discuss them first thing. Okay, God bless you. Have a great night.